Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Brent Venables, the Oklahoma Sooners, landing the commitment of one of my favorite prospects in the 2025 cycle, three-star defensive lineman Floyd Boucard. And I'll just start with this. Three-star prospect right now. I fully expect him to be a four-star top 200 national prospect come National Signing Day. Floyd Boucard brings physical traits to the table that you really can't teach. And this was a kid that I have been itching to break down the film when he committed to his school, because I think he's just one of those diamonds in the rough. Really excited to get into the film, but kind of looking into the athletic background. Floyd Boucard, even going to the junior film, I'm not sure if he has a ton of understanding in terms of what he's doing on the football field. He's just kind of one of those freak show athletes, and it kind of makes sense. This was a kid that grew up in Canada playing hockey, and I think at a certain point, you're like, all right, 6'3", 300 plus pounds, we got to get you on the football field. He has dominated his junior year. Now, transferring down to Miami Central for his senior season, one of the powerhouses nationally in the high school football landscape, he's going to be going up against some elite competition. I think this is his opportunity to kind of show what he can do at the highest level of high school football. But again, a kid that you just want to bet on the physical traits that he brings to the table. And that's something Brent Venables and this Oklahoma staff have been doing on the defensive line, where you look at guys like Danny Okoye, guys that maybe not the best football players yet, but kind of freak show athletes. And Brent Venables just say, hey, we're going to go bet on those guys. We're going to coach them to be good football players, but they come in with traits that you can't really teach. I think Floyd Boucard, a very similar kind of prospect, fired up to get into it. Before we do, and as always, just want to say thank you to you guys, to the Oklahoma fans. It's been a blast breaking down these commitments throughout the last couple of weeks. The amount of support y'all continue to show truly does mean a lot. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get in three-star defensive lineman Floyd Boucard, who, again, if I was to bet on one prospect that shoots up the rankings over the next couple of months, it's Floyd Boucard. And I'm not necessarily getting at 24/7 Sports in terms of having him ranked low, although I do think they have him ranked too low. He's a guy that there's not a ton of information on because, again, when he was a young pup, was playing hockey in Canada, he comes to Alabama his junior year, dominates some kind of smaller school competition. Again, he's going to have a lot of eyeballs on him going to Miami Central his senior year. And if he puts it together like I think he can, this is a guy that we're talking about as one of the top defensive linemen in this 2025 cycle. And I think what you love most about Floyd Boucard is the athlete. For someone that size, it's kind of next level, right? It's hard to find bodies at 6'3", 315 pounds that bring the juice athletically that he has to the table. I think the body coordination, the functional strength is certainly there. Probably has to do a lot with that hockey background. And then you look at him just physically imposing his will on opposing offensive linemen. He can do that to a defensive lineman that I think can do a lot of different things. He can do the dirty work in terms of eating up double teams, letting your linebackers play free, but he also can be that game wrecker on the inside of the defensive line, specifically in those pass pro opportunities, because his athleticism and get off, it's kind of next level. And those interior offensive linemen, they're going to struggle to deal with what Floyd Boucard brings to the table. The senior season it's been a blast to watch, right? You take a look at him, plays all over the defensive line, is certainly athletic enough at the high school level to play coming off the edge. You fire up the film and say, one, again, get off is extremely impressive. How he uses his hands. And again, if we can get him to consistently use his hands like that, that's the next level for Floyd Boucard. But just putting that tackle right in his face, going in, getting the quarterback again, and then you just see the raw power. Again, there's a lot of reps where he doesn't really know what he's doing. I'm just going to be bigger, stronger, faster than guys who are trying to block me. Just walks his tackle right into the lap of the quarterback, shutting the block. And then you see the ability to close the distance on quarterbacks, now working on the inside. Really, really good get off at 6'3", 315. A little like some nice ankle hip flexibility too, in terms of bending, contorting your body, working on offensive linemen. It's just, you don't see many 6'3", 315-pound defensive linemen move the way Floyd Boucard does. He's like a cat, but like a jungle cat, because he's 6'3", 315 pounds. Again, working off the edge, showing some nice flexibility, some nice juice off the edge, doing what he wants from a physically imposing set of things too. I mean, this is exactly how you want it to look. And again, when we can get Floyd Boucard to consistently use his hands and get off blocks like this, that's when Floyd Boucard becomes a top 200 national prospect. I love how you can move him all over the defensive line. Again, a guy that's going to play just a really good athlete for 315 pounds, a guy that is not going to play on the edge at the collegiate level, but a guy that you can play as a nose, you can play as a 3-tech, you can get some serious pass rush juice from Floyd Boucard on those third and long situations. You look at guys like Dominic Williams and Dejon Terry, guys that are elite stopping the run, but maybe you want to see a little bit more pass rush juice from them. I think Floyd Boucard can do similar things that Dominic Williams and Dejon Terry do, but also have that elite pass rush juice as well. I am fascinated about how this kid develops during his senior year at Miami Central and really to see what he's ranked come National Signing Day. But I love Oklahoma getting on Floyd Boucard early because this is a guy that is going to shoot up the rankings, but you can get him locked in, committed now. You feel really good about closing in on him for National Signing Day. And you take a look at Oklahoma in the 2025 class. Again, the thing that stands out to me, and we seemingly talk about this all the time, is what Brent Venables is doing along the line of scrimmage, going back to, a conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago in terms of why are we confident that Brent Venables can lead this Oklahoma team into the SEC and get it done. It's because Brent Venables, he knows what it takes to compete at the highest level of the SEC because he beat those teams when he was at Clemson. And where does it start? It starts along the line of scrimmage. Guys, you go back to 2024, David Stone, Jaden Jackson, there has been, such a strong emphasis on establishing an elite line of scrimmage play on both sides of the football. Then you look at the 2025 class, CJ Nixon, a guy that is just kind of a freak show athlete, another one of those guys where could play the tight end position, could play as an edge rusher, but at the end of the day, you just want to bet on the athletic traits that CJ Nixon brings to the table. I think you say all the same things for a guy like Floyd Boucard as well. I'm fascinated with what Floyd Boucard is going to look like over the next couple of years, going into a senior year, but then starting his career at Oklahoma. But at the end of the day, you want to bet on guys like Floyd Boucard, a fascinating prospect, one of my favorite in the 2025 class. We'll cut it there. Again, appreciate you guys rocking with the boys. Oklahoma up to a top 10 national recruiting ranking. Appreciate the support. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.